Welcome, folks, to the show with seemingly no other purpose than to further inflate the already overweening egos of the hosts, as they discuss the idiosyncrasies of literature that no one could possibly care less about. Let's get serious. And now to the Ayatollah of vacuity, the Prince of Propriety, the Bastone of Brilliance, Brian Rice.
Do I detect a nuance of sarcasm there, Jeffrey?
Of course not, O Sultan of Sophistry. This is just a figment of your imagination.
Yeah, whatever you say, buddy. On with the show. And what a show we have for you today. Today we're going to be discussing one of the great literary classics of the 20th century, and that, of course, is 1984 by George Orwell. And with us today, we have two very esteemed literary analysts, Mr. Christopher Clements and Mr. Brian Tencher. They're going to be discussing the book with me today. And let's start off with Mr. Clements. Why don't you give us a little background on the novel?
Of course. 1984 was written in 1948 by George Orwell as a prediction of what the world would be like in the titular year. The setting of the story is a dark and twisted perversion of a utopian society. The invidious government, represented by the ubiquitous Big Brother, if you will, controls every aspect of people's lives through the use of violence and fear. And any opposition to the ruling party is considered sacrilege and is dealt with summarily by the thought police.
Yes, yes. Actually, let's show a brief clip of our actors emulating these nefarious thought police in a brief reenactment.
Hit it, Geoff!
What have I done? I'm so screwed! No, it's about it.
Positively depraved.
Indeed. Now, all this talk about 1984, it brings to mind a similar dystopian novel.
Perhaps Aldous Huxley's Brave New World?
That's the one. Overtly, they paint very different pictures of the future, but if you really get in there, those two messages are very, quite propinquity to each other, don't you think?
I don't want to belabor the comparison, since it has been done countless times before, but to me they represent the same thing. And the ends are the same, it is merely the means that differ.
You know, I believe the great social critic Neil Postman delineated this comparison best with the words, Orwell feared that what we hate will ruin us. Huxley feared that what we love will ruin us. It's true, though. I think 1984 is much more realistic because that is exactly what we fear, whereas Brave New World is a little more abstract in that the same lack of free will is dissembled behind methods used to control which many would consider unwanted because they are almost desirable.
Yes. Now, Mr. Tencher, would you say there's still credence to the message in 1984, despite the fact the years is long past?
Oh, without a doubt. I mean, the message is still germane. We can garner much from this novel, regardless of the year. The possibility of such a situation coming to pass is very real, and becomes more real with every passing day. I mean, especially with acquisitive lust for power that seems inherent in all governments.
Yes, the message in the novel is far from esoteric. In fact, it is overt, right there out in the open. We should not be so trusting of government, nor should we ever be willing to trade freedom for security.
You know, this talk of freedom and security, it really brings to mind a current issue in politics, and that is, of course, the Patriot Act that the Bush administration recently, instated, and then just recently re-implemented, just very recently. How long was that?
Oh, it's not all that long ago. Maybe
yeah,
a year and a half.
That's what I thought. And
Fortnight.
Yeah, a fortnight, something like that. Anyways, what would you say about that? What would you say about the Patriot Act?
This is a devious piece of legislative filth designed to rid us of our personal liberties. And, you know...
What's going on?